It was just past 4 p.m. when the door of the biker bar swung open. The creak of rusted hinges cut through the low hum of music, clinking bottles, and murmured conversations. Heads turned, not dramatically, but just enough to mark the presence of someone who didn't belong. He walked in wearing a plain black t-shirt, jeans, and boots. No visible logos. No flashy jewelry. Just a calm, calculated posture. His eyes scanned the room once, and then he walked to the bar. His name was Marcus Green. Nobody there knew it. And that was exactly how he wanted it. To the regulars scattered across the room, all white, leather-clad, tattooed, and used to being the loudest voices in the building, he was just another guy passing through. Or so they thought. He sat on a stool, nodded to the bartender, and ordered a water with lemon. That was the first spark. A few feet away, a group of 5 men in sleeveless vests and biker patches exchanged glances. One snorted a laugh. Another leaned over and said something low, ending with, "Lemon?" The bartender placed the drink in front of Marcus, who didn't react to the whispers. He simply thanked her and took a slow sip, posture relaxed, back straight, eyes forward. But ignoring them only fed the fire. The largest of the group, buzz-cut, red beard, arms like tree trunks, stood up and stretched dramatically. Then he walked over, resting one hand on the bar next to Marcus. "You lost, brother?" he asked, tone sharp with fake friendliness. Marcus looked at him briefly. "No. Just thirsty." The man leaned in a little closer. "See, thing is, this place ain't really big on your type." Marcus turned toward him fully now, not aggressive, just present. "My type?" he asked. "Yeah. The quiet, watchin', outsider type." From across the room, one of the biker's buddies chuckled. Another stood up and began to approach, slow and casual, like a scene they'd rehearsed a dozen times before. The bartender froze behind the counter. Marcus didn't flinch. "You come from the city?" the man asked. "No." "Military?" another one chimed in, sarcastic. Marcus sipped his water again. "Something like that." Before we continue, if you believe strength isn't about who's loudest, but who stays calm when others crack, hit that subscribe button. Because what happens next shows that sometimes the most dangerous man in the room is the one who says the least. By now, all 5 men were standing around Marcus. They weren't yelling. Not yet. But their energy had shifted, the kind that simmers before it explodes. Marcus didn't move. He simply placed his glass down and asked, "Is there a reason you're all standing here, or do you just like forming circles?" A pause. That line didn't land well. The red-bearded man leaned in again. "We're just wondering what kind of man walks into our bar, sips lemon water, and thinks that's normal." Marcus looked him straight in the eye. "A man who's very comfortable anywhere he walks into." That was it. The tension in the air went solid. The laughter stopped. One of the men clenched his fist. Another cracked his neck like he was warming up for something. "You think you're funny, boy," one muttered. The bartender took a step back. Marcus stood. Calmly. No raised hands. No aggression. Just stood. And in that moment, every man in that circle felt something they didn't expect: resistance. Not fear. Not panic. Just stillness, and control. Marcus glanced at each of them, one by one. "You've got a choice right now," he said. "Back off. Or embarrass yourselves." That line landed harder than any punch. But they didn't listen. Because they didn't know who they were talking to. Not yet. They didn't know about the years of classified deployments. The hand-to-hand training. The controlled breathing under pressure. The dozen ways he could dismantle every one of them in under 30 seconds, and still have time to finish his drink. To them, he was just a black man in a white bar. To them, he was someone to push. Someone to size up. But what they were about to learn, in the hardest way possible, is that you never size up a Navy SEAL. Not unless you're ready for what comes next. And what came next, they never saw coming. The first one moved without warning, the man with the buzz cut and red beard. He reached forward like he was going to shove Marcus back onto the stool. He barely touched him. In a blur, Marcus pivoted his left foot, slid one hand across the man's arm, and used his own momentum to flip him sideways. The biker slammed into a nearby table, knocking over 2 chairs and a half-empty pitcher of beer. The bar went dead silent. The other 4 hesitated. That moment cost them everything. The second man lunged. Marcus ducked and drove his elbow into the guy's ribs, then twisted, grabbing the man's wrist mid-swing and locking it into a joint hold. He yelped and dropped to one knee. The third and fourth moved together. Mistake. Marcus sidestepped, swept one man's legs out from under him, and dropped him like dead weight. The other swung wide, too wide, and Marcus caught him in the jaw with a controlled, open-hand strike that knocked him off balance without drawing blood. Each move was clean. Efficient. Calculated. The kind of movement you don't learn in a gym or bar fight. The kind of control that only comes from years of elite training. The last man, fists clenched, took a step forward, then froze. He saw something the others hadn't, Marcus's eyes. Steady. Calm. Not even winded. And that's when Marcus finally spoke. "You done?" The man didn't answer. He just backed up slowly, eyes darting to his friends on the floor. Redbeard was groaning. One was holding his ribs. Another sat stunned, blinking at the ceiling fan. Then the bartender stepped forward, voice shaking but full of awe. "What the hell are you?" Marcus turned toward her. "Navy SEAL. Retired." The room shifted. Even the jukebox in the corner seemed quieter. Marcus stepped forward, pulled a slim black wallet from his pocket, and showed his ID, military, real, clean. He wasn't bluffing. The remaining biker muttered something under his breath and helped one of his buddies off the ground. No more tough talk. No more circling. Just silence. Because what do you say to a man who could have wrecked you, but chose not to? Marcus looked around once more. No swagger. No gloating. Just presence. He placed a $20 bill on the counter. "For the mess," he said. "And the water." Then, calmly, he walked out of the bar. No one followed. No one dared. Later that evening, someone posted grainy phone footage from a corner of the bar. It didn't capture everything, but it captured enough. Enough to show that 5 men had tried to intimidate someone, and had been dismantled without a single broken bone or bruise left behind. But the internet didn't care about punches. They cared about the caption. They tried to humiliate him. Turns out he was a SEAL. It spread like wildfire. And the message was clear. Don't mistake silence for weakness. Don't confuse composure with fear. And never, ever underestimate someone because of how they look, or where they are. Because you just might push the wrong man. And if that man is trained to win wars, you won't even see it coming. If this story hit you like it hit them, don't forget to subscribe for more powerful narratives. Speech balloon comment below, have you ever seen someone completely flip the script by staying calm? And remember, real power doesn't need to prove itself. It just waits, until it's necessary.